Howdy folks, welcome back to Tours of Alaska. This is episode 5. Now I'm pretty sure people are wondering, when's it going to be that tour on Seward of Alaska? Well, it's right now. So let's begin the tour. So sit back and just relax and enjoy the tour. Behind me here is the Benny Benson Memorial. You see, Benny Benson was the one who personally invented our Alaskan flag. How he did it? He was in the Jesse Lee home, which was a child welfare center back in the 1920s, and it closed in 1964. Anyway, he was in his dorm wondering what kind of a flag should be good for Alaska, since he was entering some sort of contest that they had at the time. And he thought of all sorts of designs, but couldn't think if they were good enough. And then he looked up the sky, and he saw the Big Dipper and the North Star. And this gives me an idea, he thought, I guess, at the time. And then he invented this. This is what our Alaskan flag looks like today. There's it flying above me, see? Along with the American flag. And right there, there's the Seward flag, which was designed a few years ago. If I had known Seward didn't have a flag when I was in high school, I would have designed a flag kind of like that myself, maybe. Anyway, let's continue with our tour. This is the road coming into Seward, Alaska. And over there we have a local Safeway, marketplace, and a gas station that used to be a Burger King back in my days. There's a motel over there. And that's another motel over there. And our gas station over here, and a pizzeria connected to it. And over here we have the Breeze Inn, which is another motel. I've stayed in there a few times back then, actually, over the years. Anyway, over there is the rest of Seward, just right behind the hill, which we'll get to later on in this video. Right above Seward, Alaska, is a mountain known as Mount Marathon. Now, on the 4th of July, runners go up the mountain and back down again every year. It's quite an intense race. They take a trail that leads. They take a trail that goes from this side of the mountain all the way up to the top. That trail I just mentioned is for experienced hikers only. There's another one somewhere in the middle of the mountain way over there, beyond those trees, and that trail takes longer, but it's much easier for anyone who wants to go up to the top of the mountain. Seward, Alaska also has many restaurants, including this one called the Alaska Seafood Grill. The Breeze Inn also has a restaurant of its own. I forgot to mention that. There's another one over here called Ray's Bar and Grill. A friend of mine used to work there. Right behind me is also the harbor of Seward, Alaska. They have many fishing boats here and much more. Let's go down there, shall we? It sure is windy. I don't want to lose my hat. This here is one of the many ramps that go down to the harbor. Here's one of the docks I'm on. One of the many docks that's in the harbor of Seward, Alaska. Over there is one of the tour boats they have here. Boat tours follow several routes around the park we have here in Seward. It's called Kenai Fjords National Park. A day-long tour travels through Resurrection Bay, around Island Cape, and then on to Holgan Arm and Holgate Glacier. Sometimes other glaciers as well, including Bear Glacier, which is the biggest we have in Kenai Fjords National Park. The return route often takes visitors around the Chiswell Islands and back into Seward and Resurrection Bay. Seward's also a port for many cruise ships. This part of the dock that I'm on is the location for the winter polar bear jump they have here in Seward. Every year, a few brave souls plunge right into the 37-degree waters of Resurrection Bay to raise money for people with cancer. Seward also has many gift shops, including this one. And this orca statue has been around for as long as I can remember, ever since my childhood, maybe even before my childhood. Seward also has a few cafes and coffee shops like this one here. Now over here, in this building over here with the blue roof, that's where people can sign up to buy tickets for their tours of Kenai Fjords National Park. I've been on these tours before, many times over the years, and they're a lot of fun. You can see orcas, humpbacks, maybe even gray whales, and some Mickey whales if lucky. Oh yeah, and some Dall's porpoise too, and much more. Now folks, I didn't grow up specifically in Seward, Alaska, just for a little bit at a time here in Seward itself. You see, when my parents and I first moved up here when I was a baby, I grew up in a small little apartment just over the hill there. But then my parents bought some land in a cabin just 5 miles outside of Seward, Alaska, which had no running water and no electricity for a while, like a few months, I think. Yeah, it was a few months. Anyway, sometimes my parents had to come down here and shower right in the bathroom, somewhere around here. But luckily, it didn't last that long, just for a few months anyway, like I said. And that's where I grew up. Also, for tourists here in Seward, Alaska, they can take the free shuttle ride. This is one of its stops, and then it goes from place to place around Seward, Alaska. Over here, we have a Subway and an ice cream parlor, which I've grown up with. It was so delicious. All the ice cream in there, I mean. And behind it is a bakery. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention there's a little gift shop next to the Subway right over there. Seward, Alaska also has a memorial right over there where that lighthouse is, where people have lost their lives at sea. And also, right over there where that crane is, used to be a coal loading facility. You see, Seward used to mine coal up north in Healy, Alaska, in Denali Park, and from here it'll be loaded on there and it'll be taken to South Korea. But now it's out of business now. Oh well, I guess the South Koreans found a much cheaper place where they can get their coal. If you wanted to have the best burgers in Seward, Alaska, you could try this place. It's called Red's Burgers. Oh boy, its burgers are the best in Seward, Alaska. Take my word for it. If you're ever in Seward, Alaska, you gotta try their burgers. It's, oh, mwah, that's how delicious they are. Right next to Red's Burgers is the Gateway Hotel. And over here used to be a baseball park, but now it's a campground for RVs. There's a baseball park over there, and right over here is 4th Avenue. Right over the hill is where most of the gift shops and restaurants are in Seward, Alaska. We'll head over there soon. Seward also has a laundromat for anyone, including tourists, to do their own laundry. Seward also has a couple of thrift stores like this blue one right here, and this one right here that used to be a Chinese restaurant. All right, folks, here we are going down 4th Avenue. Right over there is one of the many coffee houses we have here in Seward, Alaska, and that used to be a church I went to when I was a little kid. Now it's been turned into a nice coffee house. Right here is another building that used to be a Chinese restaurant, but now it's out of business. Also right here on 4th Avenue is a bus stop for tourists and more. There's a restroom, and over here we have the Highliner restaurant. Delicious burgers there, but not as good as Red's. Over there used to be a local theater, but it went out of business after the owner, who was a friend of mine, her husband and her son died in the same year. So I can't remember much. It's been a long time. Anyway, it's out of business now. Over here we have another hotel. It's pretty old. It's called the Van Gilder Hotel. Back in the 50s, there was a woman named Fanny here, and she was killed by her husband. She's been haunting one of the rooms ever since. But still a great place to stay. Okay, folks, now I'm going to show you the rest of 4th Avenue. Some gift shops over there. Another shop is right here, and over here has the best pizza in the city of Seward, Alaska, Apollo's. Next to Apollo's right here is a place that used to be called Generations. A friend of mine owned the shop, but he sold it. It looks like it's turned into something new. There's a mural he did many years ago, but now it's been covered by another sign, which is part of Alaska history written on it, I mean. Wow, looks like it sure has changed. Right here used to be my favorite coffee house called the Sea Bean, but it's been sold and now it's turned into this. Things sure have changed a lot in Seward, Alaska since the last time I was here. Over there, across the street, we have a Russian restaurant. Excuse me, a Russian gift shop. Sorry, I misspoken, folks. Anyway, some other buildings around 4th Avenue, including there's that one way over there called the Brown Hawkins building. I'll go over there in a minute. There's another gift shop. That's the main gift shop over there called the Alaska shop. It's got everything a tourist needs or wants and more. This is one of the oldest buildings, but now looks like it's been renovated. This here used to be a bookshop, and now it's been turned into a restaurant. There's the Seward Ale House Bar. We had a friend of mine, his memorial service was held there. This here's another shop. And this is the spot where that orca statue I mentioned earlier in this video, it used to be here, but now it's been moved to that other spot where we just saw it earlier on this video. Let's continue on with this tour. Alright folks, here we are at the Brown Hawkins building. It was first built in 1903 and completed in 1904, and founded by a man named Charles Brown and T.W. Hawkins. Seward was also a port for a training base for people training for World War I and World War II. Over there used to be a bank inside Brown Hawkins, but it's out of business now, just for show, at the moment for now. There's another gift shop there, and right over there, my personal favorite of Brown Hawkins is Sweet Darlings, which has the best ice cream on the Kenai Peninsula. President Obama was there as well many years ago. Another great place to eat around here is over there, Gold Rush restaurant. It's a restaurant I worked at for 13 long years, but once I started to move from Seward to Soldotna, I had to resign. It's still good. Seward also has many bars, including this one called the Yukon Bar. I think I remember my dad telling me there used to be a bowling alley and a community center here, but now they're all gone, and it was such a long time ago. There's Tony's Bar over here, but there's also a restaurant. I'll get the name in a minute. There's actually two restaurants. There's this one right here. Here's what I mentioned before, Tony's Bar and Liquor Store. Forgot about that part. And there's this one right here called the Sea Salt Alaskan Grill and Bar. It's got good pizza, but not as good as Apollo's does. And right in front of me here is the Sea Life Center. There's a lot of great sea life here, including a sea lion named Pilot. He's the biggest one they got. When he stands up, he's like as big as a polar bear. There used to be another sea lion named Woody. He was the biggest, but he died a long time ago. I sure miss him. Right in the Sea Life Center parking lot, there's also this little cafe. It used to be a train station, or at least I think it was, I can't remember. Anyway, it's got a lot of great desserts and more here. It's called Zudi's Cafe. On 5th Avenue of Seward, Alaska, there's also a couple more hotels like this one right here, and there's that one over there. Right there where the flag, the American flag is, that's where a video store used to be back in my childhood, but it's gone now. Well folks, that's the end of the tour. I hope you enjoy your visit to Seward, Alaska. If you ever come up here, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next time, in the next video of Tours of Alaska. Goodbye for now.